With the Iktomi stories, Iktomi is more like a representation of emotional unhealthiness and in Lakota belief. You cannot develop spiritually until you're emotionally healthy. Yeah, you cannot develop spiritually until you are emotionally healthy. So there's a lot of people today are living in a dualistic way, and that means they're emotionally unhealthy. But they go to ceremonies. Yeah, they go to ceremonies and they try to become really spiritual, but their relationships often fail. Yeah, because they're emotionally unhealthy. Especially if there's a lot of them. Yeah, where they're just one partner after the other kind of people, and yet they go to ceremonies all the time, and it's really not doing anything. It's like they're in an airplane that goes up into the clouds and gets into this certain uh, current, and they really think they're going a long distance. Then when they come out of the cloud, they realize they're still in the same place. What do you call that? It's, it's see, I have some friends who are pilots, yeah, and this is I learned this from them, yeah, that there's a certain kind of a current, an air current, a wind current that you have to be aware of that when you're flying, and so you go up into the clouds and you don't see where you're going, and you really think you're traveling far, yeah. But you come out of the cloud and it turns out you didn't even go anywhere. You basically just stood still. Because you're in that current. You were flying against the current. And so you really weren't going anywhere. Yeah, but when you fly with the current, you can really travel far places, yeah, in a very short amount of time. So these are some things, that I learned from some pilot friends. But that's how it is when you're emotionally unhealthy. Yeah, you go to if you go to lots of ceremonies or you go to church all the time or whatever your belief systems are or is, um, you're not really developing spiritually as long as you're emotionally unhealthy. Yeah, and when you believe in good versus evil, guess what? You're emotionally unhealthy. Yeah, because when you're emotionally healthy, you realize that good versus evil doesn't exist. That's an illusion that was created by man to control things that he doesn't understand and to control women because he was afraid of the power of a woman's passion. So they create these things like good versus evil to control the women. Yeah, that's really deep emotional unhealthiness. So that's Iktomi. Yeah, he's a representation of emotional unhealthiness. He's dualistic. Um, like I said before, he's the kind of person that will. Well, here's a small story, and this is one when the animals are on the earth. Yeah, and he goes around. He goes to one group of animals and he says, "Hey, those guys, those animals over there, they said you guys are really dumb and you're really ugly." And so they said, "Rat, what?" So they start getting mad at the other animals. See, they don't know who Iktomi is. See, Iktomi just now became Iktomi. So they don't realize that he's tricking them. Yeah, they think he's telling the truth. They think he's a nice guy, yeah, because he comes to them all friendly and smiling and like that. So these first group of animals gets mad at that other group. Then Iktomi goes to the other group and he says, "Hey, did you see those animals over there? They they said that your guys are really dumb and you're ugly." So then that group gets mad, yeah. Then Iktomi goes to a third group, then a fourth group, and until he hits all the animals, telling each group that another group thinks they're ugly and dumb. Next thing you know, all these animals start warring with each other. And that's how we got the food cycle. It's just crazy, huh? So, this is the kind of character he is. Yeah, that he really is like a used car salesman or an insurance salesman. He tells you, "Geez, you're a cool guy. You're smart and you're just wonderful and you make good decisions and I got this deal for you that's gonna help you and for the rest of your life," like that. That's Iktomi. He can really present himself as a nice, friendly man who is on your side. Yeah? He's setting you up. He's buttering you up, so to speak. That when you least expect it, he pulls the rug out from your feet and tricks you. Yeah? Puts you in a trap. That's how he is. So when people are dualistic, this is how they are. They're like Iktomi. They do this kind of thing to to make trouble or to steal something from somebody. They use deception. This is Iktomi. Yeah, like in the story I told yesterday of Iktomi marrying his mother-in-law, and the second one with Ironhawk too, where in that story he deceives a woman to marry him, but that woman is really vain too. Yeah. To hear those stories, listen to yesterday's show. Yeah, if you didn't, I highly recommend that you do. They're good stories. You're going to learn something. Yeah. So this is how he is. Yeah. And like I said, he can come in disguise and really just be like full of confidence and just he's going to tell you, yeah, you're doing everything right, you're doing everything, you're everything you're doing right now in your life is correct, and just keep he really is building you up because he's going to knock you down. Yeah, he's going to pretend to be your best friend, and then when you least expect it, then he's going to like stab you in the back kind of situation. That's how he is. So lots of these stories are like that. Yeah? They have plots that are like that. And sometimes, like I said, sometimes the results are vicious. They're not always funny stories. Yeah? A lot of them are funny, but sometimes they're not. But they're supposed to teach you something. And when you understand duality, then you see a deeper meaning in the story. Yeah? And then you learn how duality works. And that's when you're really becoming enlightened. Now, enlightened doesn't mean you're better. Okay? Enlightened means you become a servant to the people. See, in the dualistic world, when people define enlightened, they think that, oh, he's a master. See, those are all dualistic terms. Those are putting people above others. This is violating humility. That's a natural law, humility. Yeah. So in the real world, enlightenment means you become a servant to others. It's important to remember. Yeah. So when you see the deeper level or the deeper meaning in these Iktomi stories, then you really understand lots of things.